characters, their relations, and Walt the adorable dog as they make their way through World War I. All the character types vary quite a bit, and it is not your traditional war type story where you play as some hero which kills a million dudes and is like the war hero of the world. You're just playing as 4 sort of regular-ish people as they deal with the war as it comes to them. And all of this is made on this beautiful hand-drawn type art style which really brings to life everything that you're playing in the game. So if you've seen much about Valiant Hearts, you know that on the forefront of this game is the story surrounding it. In my opinion, all the 4 characters work really well together to create like a really integral story and create this like massive emotional impact. It's really interesting as one of the 4 characters, they all have different motivations as to why they're in the war and how they feel about things. A lot of the story is told through visual cues. There is a voiceover which works pretty well with everything, but I think the most important part is the gameplay mixes with the storytelling excellently in this game, which I look for in games all the time. In my opinion, this game definitely does that. For example, if you're playing as a nurse and you're running in the battlefield from like one side to the other, continually like bandaging up people, helping people, and just continually do that really wears you down and makes you feel like really kind of sad. Or other things in gameplay like doing things, you achieved your objective, and usually when you play a game, you know, you achieve your objectives, you're happy, but you know, you do particular things where you're like, I don't feel happy at all for doing that, like there was a real downside to that. And as an emotional impact, like doing things in gameplay, as I said before, is absolutely excellent. Through gameplay there's also definitely the ability to create urgency, and you know, there is some lighthearted parts in the game, there is some not so lighthearted parts in the game. It is about war, so they're kind of giving you that raw feeling of what war would be like for the characters. So mashing up with the story is the gameplay of the game. A lot of this is puzzle based, so think like Portal, Phoenix Wright, God of War puzzles, all these kind of things put into one. And there is other gameplay to mix it up a bit. You got boss fights, you got driving, you got stealth, you got shooting. So all that mixes up together so you're not continually doing the same thing over and over again, which is obviously great in this sort of thing. And mixed with that, you got characters which have all different abilities, so you end up doing a lot of varied things with stuff. All in all, like I really enjoy puzzles, sort of trying to work things and think things through, and I think this game did it really well. It didn't feel too overwhelming for the length of the game. I think everything was thought together well, and the puzzle designers, like, they did a pretty good job. It's not going to drive you to difficult, insane levels. Boss fights and stuff like that, you know, you try it a couple of times and you work out what exactly you're going to do, so you're not going to get stuck on anything, but it is challenging enough to make you think a bit. And as I said before, the storytelling and the gameplay meld together really well, so I think they've got a really good thing going on there. So inside the gameplay, once you start another section, there is a bunch of collectibles as well as facts which show up, which you can read and go through. So the facts basically show up when you do start a new section. You know, you can click and you can read a couple of things about the area that you're playing in, or some machinery or something that they're using in the part of the game which they were actually using on the battlefield at the time in World War I. As well in the gameplay, when you start different sections, there's different collectibles, and yeah, the things you collect are again things that like soldiers used, like say broken bassinet or water bottles. There are a couple of facts about them as well, so it's really interesting to actually read about like things you're collecting. Like a lot of the time in games you just collect things you like, blah, whatever. And even ones that do have descriptions, sometimes I'm like, ugh, I don't want to read it because it's not real. But with the war, you know, that thing actually happened. What I personally found is, I think including these collectibles, including these real facts, number one, I read them all and I tried to collect as many collectibles as I actually could, not just because of the trophies or whatever, because I actually wanted to read about them, but it grounded the game into actual real life. Having these collectibles here really brought you down to like, this actually happened. It really again worked with the emotional vibe, worked with your gameplay to fuse into one, to be this game which actually does sort of represent World War I. Melded with this was the score of the game. Whenever you opened up any of the menus, you just hear that ding ding, and it really then did bring down your emotions again. That song does not liven your hopes. That is a song again. This is about war, and everything about this game brought everything together to continually remind you this is World War I. This many thousands of people died in this thing, and everything about this game really highlighted it. Yes, there was some comedy and stuff and brought it sort of the lighthearted parts in the game. I think they did an excellent job to find the right balance there, so it wasn't like making fun of the war or anything. It really did bring you down to the level of, this is actually really sad. So to wrap this all up, if you couldn't tell already, I really like how they approach this issue in this manner. I reckon they really did do World War I justice. And as I mentioned before, I really love how they meld story and gameplay together to tell a better experience. The way I usually sort of measure games in my head is if this game was given to me as a book, could have been done better, and I don't think so. Again, as I said with the example of like the nurse and stuff, when you're actually physically controlling a character, which is like running past dead bodies continuously and stuff like that, I think it really does get to you. And as well as that, I think they do address more of the realistic side of war. Like for example, if my great-great-grandfather was in this war, he wouldn't have been like a massive war hero again and killed like 10 trillion people like lots of war games are. You know, he would have been there missing his family would have missed him. So I do think that that sort of thing is obviously a good thing to address in the game, and I think they did that well. All in all, I think this game is excellent. If you have any interest at all in game storylines, I definitely 100% recommend you pick this game up. Even if you don't like story, I still reckon it's 15 bucks. I reckon it is worth it to try it. I extremely enjoyed myself playing this game, and I'm really happy that Ubisoft made it. Altogether, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Thanks guys for watching. If you have any comments or any discussion about Valiant Hearts, leave it in the comments below. I would love to read and talk to you guys about it. If you're new to my channel, check out some of my other videos, and if you like them, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!